Okay, well, welcome to this first Wits Film and TV post-production tutorial. So what I'm gonna do today is cut out the donkey. It's actually mule, but let's call it the donkey. Okay, I'm gonna open the donkey. Let's see where. Here it is. Cool. So I'll give you this file as well. So now what you need to do is actually this Muybridge sequence of images, and then we're going to try and make a animation out of that. Well, and if you follow the run of the images, then you'll see that after number 4 we need to go here. That's number 5, 6, 7, 8. But then we don't go here, but we go 9, 10, 11, 12, and then here again 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so that's the order of things. So what you'll do, when you take your auto select, you've got your move tool selected, you have to have auto select selected. It has to be checked, otherwise it becomes difficult. Okay, so first thing we do, we're gonna select this little image here, the first one at the top, and then we're going to have that done. Now, make sure that you always, when you copy into a new layer, actually you're cutting into a new layer, that you always select your background, select the one that it comes from. Okay, so there we go. We go layer, new, via, cut. Okay, and what you see here, that it cut out of the background layer, and then it added a new layer where it says layer 1. Okay, now we don't have to select, and actually want to keep the selection square or rectangle the same size all the time. That helps with the animation later, okay, to align them. So what I'm going to do is command click, command or Apple click on this layer, click, and then select this layer, move it across to number 2, there, and now I have to guess a little bit, but it's okay, and we're going to say layer, new, via cut, and that's the second one. Okay, same thing here, we command click on this layer, move it over to number 3, select the background layer, and now I'm going to use the shortcut new. That's the shortcut is Shift Command J. So I'm going to use the shortcut Shift Command J, plop, and there's number 3, and that's how we continue. So I'm going to move fast forward because now the next thing we do is we're going to put all these layers on top of each other. That will be more helpful. So in order to that, we go to the move tool and we move it, and that's why you need auto select selected. We move it there, and this one we move there. We could shove them all underneath number 1, and now again it's important to go there, and it sort of generally will snap. Otherwise, make sure that snapping is on. Snap here is on. Snap to layers, that's good. Actually didn't have to do that. Okay, and then after that, here. Obviously the layers are now in a good order, so it actually doesn't really matter if you do this in the wrong order. I just think sometimes it's better to do that, because the layers individually are actually in the right order. And it snaps like well. Good. Okay, and the last one, and done. Okay, now next step is we need to crop this layer. Okay, so we go to the cropping tool and we drag the bottom left up, because we don't need that whole bit of white space anymore. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you can see all the thumbnails. Actually, if you run it like this, it's already shown. Anyway, so then we're going to save this. Okay, so we have to save it as a PSD file because it needs the layers. I've already got one here. but let's say modified. Make sure it's Photoshop file and then save. Cool. Then we go to After Effects, and what we do in After Effects, we open up, we import that modified PSD file. Okay, and when you say open and you forget to import it as footage, then you still have a choice here. I would say composition, retain layer sizes. Okay, so okay, there we go. Now obviously, as you can see, this is not HD, it's a lot smaller than HD, but that's, in this case, it doesn't matter. You can obviously change the settings to HD if you would like that. Do that here, you set it here to HD, but in this case, as I said, it doesn't matter. So I just double click that thing. Okay, so now we've got all our layers on top of each other, and that's why it doesn't animate yet. But we're going to change that. Okay, I'm going to zoom into my timeline so you can see something. And I'm going to choose two frames. Okay? 2 frames, there we go. And then I'm going to select all the layers. Edit, select all. And I'm going to, well, there's 2 ways of doing this. This is the hard way. When you snap with shift, it snaps to the point, but you can actually see that you've selected anything, but that's it. And the easy way would be just put your pointer there and say Alt bracket right, and then it also will work. So Alt bracket right, that's cool. And then we're gonna select the top one and say keyframe assistance, sequence layers, and no overlap, and there we go. Now if we play this out, if you don't want to play it all the way down to 15 minutes, so we're going to put our end here. Remember, press N on the keyboard and it will allow you to do that. And there we go, we've got a animation. Obviously, if you think this would go too far, you can always go back a couple of steps. Say, okay, well, I think it's too fast. Let's make Alt bracket, right bracket, make it a bit slower. Select the top one, keyframe assistance, hop. And now it does it for 3 frames, or actually 2. See, it's a bit slower. Might be nicer in this case. Okay, that's the end, last frame. Okay, and if we can play back, look, you can see what happens. Okay. A mule animation. Okay, and then we're going to export or say add to render queue. Make sure it goes to the folder. Donkey modified move. And let's call it movie. And say save. And then my thing is set up to be ProRes, so that's great. Best settings, make sure you check that. 25 frames per second, ProRes. And you can change it to any other format, but this one is good. And then the name until render. Ooh, there we go. And here you've got your donkey movie from a Muybridge. Once you put it in, if you put it in QuickTime, you can actually, QuickTime 7, you can loop it. So that's more fun. Yeah, the fact that it's not completely aligned makes actually the jumping or the kicking better. Cool. Well, that was it. Bye.